You know me, I love creative people. I love people who can think of words, put them together, and all of a sudden it comes out into a song. We're talking about a lady, her name is Betty Swain. And she's, I think, going to become a legend, even after she's passed away. With a couple of guys here, Timothy Dare, Jim Paul, and my good friend, Craig Brandywine. So, tell me a little about this lady, Betty.
Well, I started off the project. I hadn't met Betty. I met her on the phone. The first time was on the phone when I met Betty. I had the music in my hand that she had written the words. And she called me up one night. She said, "Is this Jim Paul?" And I said, "Yes, it is." And she said, "Well, this is Miss Betty Swain. And I'll tell you what, I just want to hear my music before I have to leave this earth." She said, "My husband's passed for 3 years now, and I don't want to wait that long."
Wow.
And from that moment, I knew that she was the kind of person that I wanted to work
Yeah.
with and really write her music. And I sat down and wrote that music for her, and just a beautiful person.
Well, you know, which brings up an interesting concept, because people think if they write music, they have to put the music to it too. But there's a difference between the music and the lyrics and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
So she
absolutely.
wrote the lyrics.
She wrote the lyrics. I received just paper with words on them, some typed, some handwritten. All of them were signed by Betty, you know, and that was great. But when I read the songs and I read the words, the music almost jumped at you. I'm a country writer and a country singer, but you could just see the pentameter of the music was exactly the way it had to be. And her words are, you know, 1960s, late 1950s words, very clear, very succinct, and she had a lot to say. I really enjoyed doing it.
You know, there is really something about that era of music where it was music.
It was basic, you know.
Yeah.
It was basic. You said what you wanted to say, and you didn't waste a lot of time.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of fun doing the writing, and then I was around Raleigh on the open mic circuit, we might call it, but a lot of open mic situations in Raleigh where I would play, and I met Timothy, and I met 5 other people that we put a band together and went out and actually did a concert for Betty. I'd met her actually a week before the concert was the first time
nice.
I met her, and what a lovely lady, you know. And you've seen some of her pictures and what she looked like in the 50s when she was a singer and did write. And just a wonderful experience. So we had a great time out there doing the concert for her.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
So how'd you get involved with this?
Well, I was at the open mic, and I heard Jim perform one of her songs one night, and I approached him afterward, and I said, "Did you write that?" And he told me the backstory, and I said, "That's fantastic." He says, "Yeah, we're trying to put together a little group and play her music." And I said, "Well, I might be interested in playing bass on that." And next thing you know, he assembled 5 or 6 people, and we started rehearsing, and we decided to found one guy, a friend of theirs, Ishti. He's a local artist. His dad had a recording studio, not
Really?
quite the level of the Living Arts College studio,
Yeah.
but it was a nice home studio. And we recorded an album for her, about 7 songs, and then we presented it to her at her concert that we put on for her. So
It was really pretty funny. Betty only wanted a cassette because she didn't even have a CD player. You know, she's 85 years old.
Yeah.
She really didn't know. I said, "Betty, I'll take care of it." And I, you know, got her a CD player and gave her the CD so she could hear it. And,
Is that cool or what?
It was great. We had about 70 people at the concert that we did, I think. And
Yeah.
friends came out to see her and wish her well. And so it was just a wonderful time.
and her family got to witness her fulfilling this dream of her lifetime. She had lost these lyrics for 40 some years. They were in a cedar chest, and one day in 2000 and what was it, 11 or 2010, she was digging through her cedar chest and she found this booklet of songs, and she saw her lyrics, and they describe her entire life, and they were from her experiences of her life. And she had a very tragic life, actually, 4 tumultuous marriages and all sorts of crazy things that had happened to her. And so the lyrics were more than just, songs and poems. They were actually her life. And she wanted to do her songs her whole life, have them performed, but no one ever took her seriously.
Yeah.
She always ended up having to do is just sing Patsy Cline or sing the local, songs.
Everybody else's music.
Right.
Yeah. So just doing that, would have been just a fabulous thing.
It would have been.
Well, and what we were talking a couple of minutes ago about leaving this earth. What a way to go, you know, having somebody do your music and being able to enjoy that.
I'm sure she was fulfilled and pleased, but we came back, and one of the songs, you'll hear it on the album, One More Time, really struck us as something that, you know, I'd like to go ahead and try to do a professional recording at that level. So Tim and I and the band came in and we did it here with Center Sound Records. And from there it just kind of mushroomed out. Craig kind of walked over to Nashville and said, hey, I got this song.
Yeah.
Then I got this album.
So you get involved at this point.
I got involved because Tim and I have been working on a few different projects, and he brought me the CD that these guys did that we wanted to kind of just put like a mastering kind of thing on it to get them all at one level.
Yeah.
and have that. And I'm not sure, did we do that before the show?
Yeah, we did.
So that's what she was
Kind of
presenting.
mastering.
Okay. So then we did that, and then that One More Time song just kept in my head, and I kept saying to Tim, I said, there's something about this song that is just, the melody, and I always tell Jim, he writes amazing melodies, but just the whole thing. And then we went through this complete metamorphosis of this song, like trying all these stuff from a male singer where Jim did it, and I'm like,
Right.
I'm looking at the words, I said, I don't know, I'm feeling that it needs to be a female. So they agreed, and we went through about 4 or 5 females here, and I said, you know what, I'm going to Nashville on another project. I want to bring it to a friend of mine. Let me just see what she can do. And came back with it, and that was it. We just said, this is Kim Parent. And I said, Kim sang it. We had to bring it down a little bit in key, but what do you think? And that was it right there. So at that point, I said, look, let's do this. Let me get that thing over there. So we brought the project over there. I had hooked up with the Parlor Studios, which I normally work out of when I'm in Nashville. My friend Robin Ruddy, who owns it. And Robin says, hey, this is really nice songs. This is really cool. We can get a really good band together and do this. And she goes, I said, what are the chances of asking Lynn Anderson to do a tune or two? And she goes, I can only ask.
That's exactly right.
And that's it. And I said, you know what? Ask her. Because
Yeah.
just felt the synergy, because Robin has been playing for her for about 14 years. So I felt that there's a really good connection. And Lynn really got into the whole Betty Swain thing. And we have a little video on YouTube that shows her, kissing up to this guy, to Betty, and it was really, really warm. So she did 2 songs on the record, Prove You Care and Sweet Memories, and she just did a great job. So the whole album was it was so much fun to do.
So we've got Lynn Anderson on here. We've talked about that, but there are a number of different people who got involved with the project.
It seems like everybody who heard it just wanted to be part of it. But,
Yeah.
we have some fantastic singers on there. There's 9 different women singing the songs that Betty wrote, and to me, it just makes my heart pound.
Yeah. Now, I recognize Lynn Anderson. I don't recognize anybody else but my friend Nikki Nelson. Now, Nikki Nelson's from Highway 101. We all love her. She's been on the show before. Great lady. But I know all these people must have just jumped right in.
Well, Siobhan Magnus, is the second girl there.
Yeah.
She sings another version of One More Time, her way. She's a younger girl. She was the number 6 runner-up for the 10th season of American Idol.
Wow.
So we got her. Lonnie Rose, up and coming. Of course, Nikki, Kim Parent, who has worked with us on, we talked a little bit about the other show with the Nashville sessions.
Yeah.
Kim was singing the Fill It Up With Empty. And Brittany, I don't know if you guys ever saw the video of the Aaron's commercial with the blonde singing a country tune. That was Brittany.
Really?
Yes, that was Brittany Black. And Devin, up and coming. Taylor, you could just open up Facebook and see Taylor. She's on doing everything. And of course, Marissa Began, who I've been working with since she was 12 and a half. She's on a lot of different projects with us, and she's now in Nashville. She just turned 19.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm getting old.
It's an important thing for people to realize. Some people have a dream in their heart, but they don't move. If you want somebody to discover you, or if you want to do something, you got to do stuff. You just can't write it in a journal, I want to be a singer. You got to actually get out and do stuff. And here are people who did stuff. Here are guys who just did stuff. It's just, I love this concept. And by the way, this is an awesome presentation.
Thank you. Well, it was a collective effort. Everybody
Yeah.
worked very, very hard. We're still working hard on it.
Yeah.
It's now the hard part starts. This was
Yeah.
the fun part and the easy part. Now it's the, let's get it out there and let people hear the story and spread the music out there.
Now, when you do the movie, can, for somebody who's going to be, I could do Clint Black or somebody like that. I could.
Well, Jim, write a song that sounds like a Clint Black tune for
I
Dr.
could
Weir.
probably do that.
Yeah.
With you
Now,
in mind.
now, real quick, you were talking about Lynn Anderson.
Yeah.
Tell that story.
Well, it was so great. She came to the studio. Actually, we had all the ladies in the day before their actual performance, so they got to hear the music, got to work with the musicians. And Lynn came to the door. The door was locked, so I walked down, and she's standing in the hall. I brought her in, and she stood next to me for about a minute, and then she says, "Oh, hi, I'm Lynn Anderson." And I said, "Well, I know that, but I'm just speechless." I was just amazed.
She's a legend.
I was
She really
amazed.
is. So listen, I got to get my glasses on here because here it is. The Betty Swain Project.com, is that right? Go online and just look at her life. And you know what? Buy this. What a great thing to do. And just play it. And now you're going to play it and not just listen to music, but what you're going to be doing is listening to somebody's life. And realize that if Betty Swain could do it, so can you. Don't change your channel because we're going to be right back.